Thank you so much for being here with us today. I am incredibly excited to open our first ever keynote, a defining moment for Ambient.ai, where we'll share a breakthrough that will forever change how organizations protect their people, assets, and spaces. Let's start from the beginning, because even as technology evolves, it all comes down to one idea. The mission of physical security has always been to prevent incidents before they happen. That's the goal every organization shares. Yet, the truth is that most physical security systems today are built to detect after the fact, not prevent things before they happen. Every year, billions are spent to minimize the threats we all face in physical security space. And yet, the results don't change much. The promise of prevention remains out of reach. Every week brings another headline and another preventable incident. The same stories repeat over and over. A break-in that shouldn't have been possible. An intruder that breaches a secured campus. An attacker perpetrating some senseless act of violence. Billions spent each year, and yet incidents keep happening. Our collective response has been to scale up, add more guards, more cameras, more systems, layer upon layer of technology and manpower. But more volume hasn't created more vigilance. It's just created more chaos. More camera feeds certainly mean more data, but not necessarily a better understanding of what's going on around us. And that imbalance leads to the paradox that we face today. We've never had more visibility, and yet we miss more than ever. Somewhere right now, an incident is unfolding on a camera, unseen until it's too late. We've built systems able to see almost everything, but we don't really understand more because of it. The mission remains out of reach because understanding hasn't scaled with visibility. The problem isn't data anymore. It's our ability to make sense of it. In other words, the bottleneck isn't coverage, it's cognition. Humans are incredible at perception, inference, and intuition. But every human has a limited attention span. We simply can't keep up with the scale and speed the data our systems generate. Even the best operators can't see, analyze, and decide at the pace that these incidents unfold. What we're facing isn't a shortage of data. It's a shortage of human attention. Every camera is a data generator, always on, always streaming, yet almost none of that data becomes usable intelligence. We record endlessly, but learn very, very little. Insights get lost in the flood of footage playing at random, detached from what truly matters. The system is drowning in its own information. And this brings us to the next question. Where is AI in all of this? AI is supposed to change everything, right? The promise is clear. Systems that can see, classify, and respond faster than any group of humans ever could. The problem is, so far, AI in physical security has mostly been marketing. It's been about pattern recognition at best, not understanding. The gap between hype and reality remains vast. And sometimes that gap produces results we can only describe as absurd. We've all seen the viral clips, AI systems mistaking the absurd for the dangerous, a bag of Doritos flagged as a weapon. It almost sounds funny until you realize that these are the systems trusted to protect real people. If this is the bar for AI-powered physical security, I would say the bar is far too low. These mistakes reveal the truth. Detection is not the same as comprehension. Look at this scene, for example. Most systems can detect motion or some specific shapes, but they don't see context, sequence, or intent. They don't comprehend cause and effect. To legacy detection systems, the scene is just a bunch of people gathered on the street. If we want to solve the problem, we need to apply true AI to physical security. The missing capability in all of this is reasoning. It is the key that unlocks everything. Reasoning connects events, interprets intent, and understands cause and effect. When AI can reason about the physical world, everything changes. Security shifts from detecting incidents to preventing them. This is the inflection point for the entire industry, the moment where AI becomes operational. When AI is truly able to reason context, it sees more than just the people. It sees their interactions too, not just the motion, but the intent behind it. It recognizes cause and effect, the difference between a conversation and a confrontation. Reasoning is the ability to concurrently detect multiple patterns, interpret, connect, and decide against them in real time. And it's the foundation for everything that comes next. Reasoning models unlock proactive intelligence. They transform security from reactive responses after the fact to real-time prevention before the incident escalates. This is not about replacing humans. It's about augmenting them so they can be placed where they can actually make a difference. This is the next era of physical security. We call this vision Agentic physical security. Systems that perceive, understand, decide, and act autonomously and responsibly. These are systems that think and respond like a human team, but at machine speed. They reason continuously, understand context, and act when it matters. This is the foundation of the next generation of enterprise protection. And every journey begins with a roadmap. As we see it, the path to agentic physical security evolves through 5 stages of autonomy. What precedes the AI era is stage 0, manual reactive security. This is the world from before, people watching screens, investigating after the fact, responding once an incident is already in motion. That's where the industry has been for decades. Stage 1, agentic monitoring. This is where AI begins to perceive the world. It recognizes patterns and flags relevant activity automatically. No rules, no scripting, just continuous situational awareness across every camera and sensor, turning your SOC into a living, adaptive command center. This is the foundation of intelligence, the shift from watching to perceiving. Stage 2, agentic investigations. Here, AI helps reconstruct incidents across time and sources, transforming how security teams uncover the truth. It understands sequence and causality, connecting people, places, context to tell the full story of what just happened. What once took hours of manual review can now happen in seconds. Stage 3, agentic access control. In this stage, AI becomes an active gatekeeper, eliminating the chaos of false alarms originating from PACs. It automatically validates access events and anomalies, identifying when a door is forced open, held open, or most likely neither. This is where physical access becomes intelligent access. Stage 4, agentic threat analysis. Now AI moves from perception to understanding intent. It evaluates behaviors, context, and correlations across the enterprise to assess true risk. It understands the difference between routine delivery and a potential breach, between normal movement and pre-incident behavior. This is proactive intelligence at scale. And finally, stage 5, agentic response, the final stage, where autonomy becomes operational. AI initiates containment and escalation automatically, locking doors, triggering talkdowns, notifying security teams or first responders in real time. It closes the loop from detection to action by orchestrating response at machine speed. Each stage builds on reasoning, expanding autonomy, precision, and scope. Together, these stages form that roadmap that will define the future of our industry. For the first time, the technology exists to make proactive security real. The foundation is reasoning. Reasoning is how AI goes from hype to reality. To show you how we're making this vision real, I'd like to now introduce our Chief Technology Officer, Vikesh Khanna. Vikesh, the stage is yours.
Hey everyone, good morning. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait to show you all the incredible product features we're launching in the Ambient.ai platform today and our vision for the future. As Shikhar mentioned, our mission demands that we build state-of-the-art technology for our products and our platform. And our vision of bringing agentic physical security to our customers was no different. It required a breakthrough. We'll talk more about it, but let's first look at the AI landscape to understand why we had to innovate in the first place. Now, we've established that agentic physical security requires intelligence. So let's plot intelligence on the x-axis here. We want more of this. But we also want our solution to scale beyond a handful of cameras. So let's plot cost efficiency on the y-axis. We also want more of this. Now, on the top left, we have motion-based analytics. These are systems that can detect movement, but they have no sense of what that motion means. Popular in the late 90s, but surprisingly still out there. They treat every change equally, triggering countless false alarms. They're highly cost-effective, but entirely useless. Then we have deep learning-based object detectors. These are systems that can recognize specific objects, say a person, a car, a bag, even a firearm, but only within narrow pre-trained categories. These systems can see shapes, but they don't understand what is happening or why it matters. Next, we have clip-based analytics. Clip is a popular model from OpenAI, typically used for image search. With Clip, for the very first time, vision and language came together. A great step towards more flexible understanding. Although these systems can describe scenes with language, they cannot comprehend meaning or sequences. They are popular in image search. They are not really meant for video understanding. Then we have VLM-based perception. Vision language models can interpret complex scenes and understand relationships within a single frame. Yet even here, the understanding is momentary. No temporal continuity, no reasoning across time. They can perceive, but they cannot reason. And finally, we have the giant leap of intelligence with reasoning VLMs like GPT-5 and Gemini. Reasoning VLMs are powerful new models that are capable of deep reasoning and contextual understanding in videos, exactly what we need for agentic physical security. But there is a problem. General purpose models like GPT and Gemini, they are built to support a wide variety of video tasks. They can analyze movie scenes, sports games, makeup tutorials, advertisements, and everything in between. And this lack of specialization leads to a few problems. One, general purpose models are trained only on internet data. The vast amount of data on the internet imparts extensive knowledge to these models, but as you can see, security camera footage looks nothing like the typical video on the internet. So these models are good at many things, but they do not excel at the one thing we care about. Two, because they are trained on internet data, general purpose models do not focus on things relevant to physical security. For instance, most models would call this a beautiful neighborhood, they'll comment on the weather, but if you look closely, the house on the bottom right is on fire, which is what we care about. Three, what kind of models perform well on all kinds of videos? The only way to perform well on everything under the sun is by building extremely large neural networks with hundreds of billions of parameters, which, consequently, are also extremely expensive. We're talking over $5,000 per month to continuously process a single camera with leading frontier reasoning models. What we need is a new category on the AI landscape. We want breakthrough reasoning ability for physical security at 50x the cost efficiency of general purpose reasoning models. And that's exactly what we've done at Ambient. I'm really excited to introduce Pulsar, the first ever always-on reasoning VLM for physical security. Pulsar is not a general purpose VLM. It is purpose-built for physical security, which means it is not designed to analyze movie scenes and makeup tutorials. It is hyper-optimized for the physical world. It is designed to detect and reason about events, behaviors, and interactions that happen in the real world. And this specialization makes Pulsar outperform general-purpose VLMs on physical security while being orders of magnitude more cost-effective. It creates a new category on the AI landscape that makes our vision possible. I'd love to show you Pulsar. Let's see Pulsar in action over here. All right, this is a Pulsar playground. We built this application for you to experience Pulsar on any video and compare it against other well-known models. So on the very left is the space for you to upload any video or choose a video from the sample library. And on the right, we have 3 columns. The first column shows the analysis from Pulsar, and we'll compare it against 2 other models. In the center, we have Gemini 2.5 Pro, a frontier reasoning model from Google that costs about $5,000 a month for continuous processing. And on the third column, we have Qwen 7B, a popular 7 billion parameter model that costs about $500 per month for continuous processing. All models are given a list of 20 threat types to detect and asked to provide an assessment of the threat. The sample library has a few real-world events, so we'll choose a few samples and see how the models do. All right, let's start with retail theft. So here we see a number of people wearing masks, hoodies, carrying weapons, break into a retail store, ransacking it, they vandalize it. It's clearly an armed robbery. All right, let's process it through the models. We'll give it a few seconds. We'll wait for all the models to finish, and then we'll focus on Pulsar. All right, so let's focus on Pulsar first. Pulsar correctly identifies several threats, such as assault-like behavior, theft, person brandishing a bladed weapon, person brandishing a firearm. It also provides an accurate assessment. It mentions people in dark clothing and wearing masks, moving aggressively through the space, grabbing items, holding an object that resembles a club, and finally concludes this is an armed robbery. Now let's look at how the other models do. Gemini detects 2 threats, theft and vandalism. It provides an accurate assessment, concludes this is a smash and grab robbery. Makes sense. Qwen 7B fails to find any threat and incorrectly claims these are individuals browsing items in a store, which is exactly not what's going on. Now let's look at a more recent event. The tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, where an individual was seen walking on the roof of a building and jumping down from the roof on the grassy area below. Let's run this through all the models. We'll give it a few seconds. Again, we'll focus on Pulsar first, and then we'll compare it against other models. All right. So Pulsar correctly identifies 2 threats, person climbing structures and person fallen down. It also provides an accurate assessment. The individual jumps off the roof and lands on the grassy area below. Then they're seen running along a paved pathway towards the right side of the frame. So captures both the threats, captures an accurate assessment. Let's see how the other models did. Gemini detects 1 threat. It detects person climbing structures. It does provide an accurate assessment, saying a person dressed in a dark clothing is seen climbing from a roof and dropping to the ground. Qwen 7B again fails to find any threat and completely misses the walk and jump from the roof in the assessment. Notice this is a $500 per month very popular model that is completely failing to find threats in the 2 examples we've seen so far. And so far we've seen Gemini 2.5 Pro, the frontier model, perform quite well, although not perfectly, but quite well. Next, I want to show you a couple of examples where even the most advanced models fail because of this lack of specialization. All right, let's get into it. This is a short clip from an active shooter drill we had done with our team. An individual walks towards the camera, clearly brandishing a rifle, and then walks back. Let's run it through the models. Now, Pulsar identifies this threat immediately, person brandishing a firearm. We're still waiting for Gemini to finish. We'll let all the models finish, and then we'll focus on Pulsar. Right, so right off the bat, you can see Pulsar is the only model that identified the threat, person brandishing a firearm. Both other models failed to find the threat. Let's look at Pulsar's assessment. Provides an accurate assessment, says a person in a yellow top walks towards the center of the room, holding what appears to be a rifle, points it forward before turning around and walking back. And if you look at the other models, Gemini hallucinates badly, incorrectly detects a person tampering with a security camera. It also hallucinates in the assessment. It says a man hands the woman a reflective panel and that she obstructs the camera view with the panel. Quen 7b fails to find any threat, and assessment focuses on things that do not matter. It may seem shocking that general purpose models of this caliber fail to detect any threat whatsoever when the rifle is so clearly visible. But this is not surprising to us. This is a direct result of the lack of specialization. Let's see one final example where general purpose models fail completely. I'm going to choose the video real quick. All right, so this is a city camera view with a view of a house on fire, also the view of the road with traffic passing by. But again, what we really care about is that bottom right house on fire. And we're going to run this through the models. Pulsar immediately detects the threat, smoke and fire. It also provides an accurate assessment. There is a house with visible flames and smoke coming from one of its windows, indicating a fire. And again, shockingly, but again, not so shockingly, both general purpose models fail to detect any threat and instead focus their assessment on the description of the vehicles and the neighborhood, which is expected, which is how general purpose models work. So that was the Pulsar playground. We ran Pulsar on 4 examples, real-world threats relevant to physical security, and we saw how it outperforms a 7 billion parameter model and a frontier reasoning model. Now, these were just a few examples, but to ensure Pulsar delivers exceptional performance across the board, we want to go beyond just qualitative assessment. And that's why we've created a brand new evaluation benchmark for VLMs in physical security called Threat Signature Eval. Threat Signature Eval is a high-quality data set of real-world events from security cameras across 10 critical threat types. The benchmark evaluates detection accuracy and reasoning quality. Here's a sample of a few videos from the benchmark on the right: property on fire, fighting and assault, armed robbery, and so on. We evaluated Pulsar and a number of models on the benchmark, and the result is clear. As models get larger and more expensive, accuracy improves. But even 72 billion parameter VLMs without reasoning tap out at under 50% performance. General purpose reasoning VLMs break that barrier and achieve close to 77% accuracy. Pulsar outperforms them all and achieves 81% accuracy. And it does so at 50x the cost efficiency of general purpose models. It brings you over $5,000 a month worth of intelligence at under $100 a month. Now, Pulsar will be the intelligence backbone of the Ambient platform. We are building a number of exciting features, some of which you'll see shortly, that wouldn't have been possible without this architectural breakthrough. To summarize, Pulsar has always-on reasoning. Thanks to its cost efficiency, Pulsar does not subsample. It runs at multiple frames per second on all cameras at all times, which is necessary to detect real-world threats that happen in seconds. Pulsar is purpose-built for physical security. It outperforms general-purpose models for things that matter to security teams. Pulsar's vast knowledge and language interface means it has the largest and fastest-growing threat signature coverage in the industry. And finally, Pulsar has edge-optimized architecture to conserve upload bandwidth at scale. so you're not uploading gigabytes of data per camera to the cloud for intelligence. So that was Pulsar, the first ever reasoning VLM for physical security. Now, I'm really excited to show you the product features we're launching today and in the coming months across every stage of the path to agentic security. Let's start with monitoring. Monitoring is all about situational awareness. You want your operators to monitor cameras and spot activity that is interesting, unusual, or a precursor to incidents. However, as we know, beyond a handful of cameras, this completely breaks down. Your operators cannot watch more than 10 to 15 cameras at once, and they cannot watch even those cameras 24/7. So, we're really excited to launch two new features today to supercharge monitoring: Agentic video walls and activity notifications. I'd like to invite Varun on stage to tell you all about it. Varun.
Thanks, Vikesh. Hi, everyone. With today's release, we're redefining the video monitoring experience from the ground up, and we're super excited to release two new powerful features to do just that. Starting off with Agentic video walls. A supercharged video wall powered by Pulsar, which surfaces the right camera at the right moment, and activity notifications. Real-time notifications for everyday activities that helps provide better situational awareness for your teams. Now, let's jump into the product to see these features in action. We'll start off with our new Agentic video wall. After sitting down with hundreds of our customers, we found a common thread. Traditional video walls are really just a facade. They make you feel like you're proactively monitoring your cameras, but in reality, when you can only watch 9 cameras at a time, you're blind to many of the activities happening across your buildings and campuses. Let's go ahead and let Pulsar take over 2 cameras. Any camera being controlled is highlighted in blue and will automatically pull in recommended activities. When no recommendations are suggested, you'll still be able to watch your original camera just as you would have done before. We can see a recommendation just came in. It's someone using a ladder and reaching towards the camera. It may just be for maintenance, but Pulsar knows this behavior is quite unusual and brings it to your attention. Nice, another recommendation just came in. It's someone casually holding a knife while people are eating lunch. It may just be someone cutting an apple, but Pulsar specifically calls it out as a potential safety hazard. Our recommendation system is always on, and all recommendations can be reviewed at the top of the wall. You can also hover over past recommendations to get a quick summary of all recent activity. We're really excited to be releasing this to everyone today and help teams know about the most important activities happening across their buildings and campuses. Now, let's jump into our next release, activity notifications. Activities are real-time notifications for everyday events. They're written in plain English, making them super simple to set up, and they're also completely open set, meaning you can get notifications for anything you specifically care about. Let's get started by creating an activity from scratch. In our office, we have sensitive information all over our whiteboards, and we need to be notified if anyone is taking a picture of them. To set that up, you can simply create an activity, person taking a photo with their cell phone of a whiteboard. Next, you'll be able to see some examples from the past 24 hours to get a quick understanding of the total number of notifications you would have received daily. And to start getting notified, we can enable the activity. Nice. We got a real-time notification on our feed, and we can see the activity was detected. You can also scroll over the card to get an understanding of what happened during the actual event. Let's go ahead and create a few more activities. Let's say you had unexpected construction going on outside and wanted to ensure no one is using a ladder within your office space. To set that up, it's as simple as typing person using a ladder inside the office space. Next, we can get the same estimated activity volume. And let's go ahead and enable this activity. Great, we got a notification for someone walking up a ladder in the office and reaching towards the camera. You can also create activities from our recommendations by Pulsar. Pulsar smartly creates these recommendations by learning and understanding what happens on your cameras. Let's go ahead and use the recommendation, person holding a fire extinguisher. Next, we get the same estimated activity volume, and we'll go ahead and enable it as well. Perfect. We got a notification for someone holding a fire extinguisher walking through the office. And lastly, Pulsar doesn't just simply detect objects. It knows about real-world concepts and behaviors, allowing you to create activities for far more abstract concepts like unsafely using office furniture in the kitchen. Let's go ahead and set that one up as an activity to see what that would have raised. We received a notification for someone standing on top of a chair, reaching for an item on the top shelf of our kitchen cabinet. We can also simply click into the notification to watch the full recording from the time of the incident to see exactly what happened. We're really excited to release activity notifications to everyone today and help you get notified in real time of the specific activities that matter most to your team.
Thanks, Varun.
Thanks, Vikesh.
All right, that was Agentic monitoring. We are thrilled to launch Agentic video walls and activity notifications to all of our customers. Now, let's talk about stage 2, investigations. Investigations are all about answering the one question: how did this happen? It's one question, but it's not a simple question. It leads to many other questions. Where did the suspect come from? What assets did they access? Where all did they go? Was there a vehicle involved? Answering these questions requires powerful video search tools, which is why we are really excited to launch a new video search feature today called Semantic Search. And I'd like to invite David to the stage to tell you all about it. David.
Thanks, Kesh. Good morning. Today, I'm excited to showcase Semantic Search, the latest addition to our forensics toolkit. Semantic Search brings powerful AI-based search to your organization's physical security cameras, and it's based on our new OpenSet VLM. In particular, you can search for people and vehicles of interest using plain English language descriptions. And my goal over the next couple of minutes is to showcase some of those powerful features through some examples from our office cameras here in Redwood City. I'm going to start with an example that is familiar for many folks in the physical security space of searching for a person based on their clothing color description. Specifically, I will search for a person wearing a blue dress shirt. In a few seconds, the platform searches over our recent footage and finds many people matching this description. You can then filter down to specific streams or specific subsets of those streams based on physical spaces on the site. And I'll close this to give a bit more space to our search results. We can then filter down to narrow this down further. And so I'm going to add blue jeans to this description. In a few seconds, the results update to match this new description. I'll make it even more precise by adding white shoes and entering the building to my search. And with this very precise search, we have now found the person that we are looking for. Clicking into an individual result will bring you to that exact moment of time in the VMS. Moreover, the VMS is integrated with other parts of our forensic stack, such as the similarity search feature, which allows you to find a person across cameras based on appearance. And I'm showing an example here of how you would trigger that. Coming back to semantic search, I'll search for a more involved example of clothing color. Notably, I'll search for a person wearing a cheetah print jacket. Once that is completed, we can see a variety of examples of this person walking around the office. We can also search based on occupational description. So I'll search here for a cleaning crew. And again, here we can see a variety of examples of the cleaning crew in the office. Beyond person descriptions, you can search for objects that a person might be interacting with. So here I will search for a person looking at their phone. And again, we see a variety of relevant examples here in our office. Because it is an open set model, it is also good at understanding abstract concepts. A fun example of that is searching for a person that is deep in thought. So I will search for that next. And we see a handful of people here grabbing their chin and appear to be reflecting on some of our hardest technical challenges. All the power that we have for person search carries over to vehicle search. And so I'll start with a basic example of searching for a blue vehicle. And after a couple of seconds, we can see a variety of relevant results. We can then narrow this down further to search for a specific make. And so I'll update this to be a search for a blue Tesla. In a couple of seconds, we see that update. And then finally, you can also switch this to be for a specific model. So I'll switch for a blue Prius. And within a few seconds, we should see the relevant results. Often, though, you don't know exactly what make or model that you're looking for, but you may have a very general description, say, of an older classic car. And because our search is open set, it handles this gracefully. So for my next search, I'm going to update this to a blue vintage car. And we see an example here of an old classic car driving through our parking lot, and our search tool picks that up. If you are expecting a package, you can search for a mail truck. And we see here that the search picks up both FedEx trucks and USPS trucks. You can, of course, narrow this down and search for a FedEx truck by itself if that's your courier of choice. And again, we can see those results get updated within a couple of seconds. And hopefully this starts to show some of the power and flexibility of semantic search in the ability to describe anything from specific to generic to abstract concepts and provide relevant results in all cases. To give one final example, I will search for an emergency vehicle. We see here that a fire truck is being detected. And notice that I didn't have to search specifically for a fire truck, although I could have. But I think in this particular example, what is more impressive is simply how far away from the camera this fire truck really is. And our product is able to detect it, to understand it, and make it available for search. Lastly, since our VLM is always on and running in real time, it's a matter of seconds from something happening in the real world to it being searchable in Ambient. Semantic search has been in a closed beta for a few weeks now, and our users have already run thousands of searches in that time. We're excited to now make this feature generally available.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Kesh.
That was Semantic Search, open set natural language search for your security cameras, bringing you the ability to search for near infinite events, behaviors, and interactions. At Ambient, we built the most comprehensive video search capabilities in the world, giving security teams the power to instantly find anything across their cameras. Our search tools like semantic search, similarity search, license plate search, and more, they work in conjunction to redefine what it means to search video. But investigations are more than just search. Finding clips is just part of the process. True understanding comes from connecting the dots, from seeing patterns, uncovering context, and ultimately answering the one question, how did this happen? That's why we are really excited to introduce the Forensics Agent. It's the next transformative leap in investigations. The Forensics Agent goes beyond search. It actively reasons about incidents. It uses all of our search tools effectively, and it provides detailed narrative explanation of what's happening. It's a magical new way of doing investigations, and I'd love to show you Forensics Agent. Let's go. All right, this is the same forensics page we saw in the semantic search demo, but now in agent mode. Forensics Agent is not a search feature. It is designed to operate like a human investigator. think of it as an intelligent coworker on your team. So on the left, we have the chat interface where you can have a conversation with the agent. This is also the space where the agent will describe its plan, explain its thinking, and potentially ask you clarifying questions. On the right, the agent will show visual evidence as it goes through the investigative process. So let's investigate a typical incident. Say a graffiti was found on the east side of Building 4 on the San Jose campus. You ask the agent to investigate this incident from just the natural language prompt and optionally provide a photo. In this case, there's no camera coverage here, so we'll upload a photo taken from the patrol guard's cell phone. The first thing the agent will do is planning. It writes down the steps it will follow to investigate this incident. In this case, it will locate the incident and gather adjacent cameras, identify suspects, narrow down the suspect list, track the suspect, and finally put together a timeline and case report. Now, it's really important for the agent to explain its thinking. This transparency builds trust and confidence, and it provides you an opportunity to guide the agent in the right direction. Let's move forward. So the agent now executes the first step. It pulls up the floor plan and gathers the adjacent cameras so you can see the visual evidence on the right. Then it finds people who were in this physical space in the last 24 hours. And just like a human investigator, it starts narrowing down the suspect list by eliminating candidates such as cleaners and patrol guards. Once it has found the suspect, it will use Similarity Search, one of our search tools, to track their movement on campus. Also note that the agent is creating a timeline and the suspect path on the map as it goes through this process. Now, interestingly, in this case, the suspect was seen near a vehicle. So just like a human investigator, the agent will use license plate search, another one of our search tools, to track the vehicle's movement on the campus. And with that, it finds how the suspect entered the building and how they left. And finally, it compiles all of this information in an incident timeline and a case report that you can download, export, and share. This is a magical new way of doing investigations, and we couldn't be more excited about it. So that was the forensics agent, the next transformative leap in investigations made possible by Pulsar's reasoning capabilities and the extensive library of video search tools in the Ambient platform. Now, let's talk about stage 3, Agentic access control. Access control systems are an integral part of the physical security ecosystem. Environments with an access controlled perimeter, they rely on alarm monitoring to prevent unauthorized entry and break-ins. However, beyond a handful of card readers, this completely breaks down. Your operators are drowned in thousands of false DFO and DHO alarms. Ambient solves this with Agentic access control. We have certified bidirectional integration with all major access control systems. We use our patented sensor fusion technology that correlates video and access alarms to automatically clear over 90% of your false alarms. And we provide detailed analytics and insights on your worst offending doors, faulty hardware, hotspots, and so on. Now, I'd like to invite Ben to the stage to show you what Agentic access control looks like. Ben.
Thank you, Vikesh. The first step in enabling agentic access control consists of connecting Ambient.ai with your physical access control system. Ambient has certified integrations with all major access control providers, both on-prem and in the cloud. Once this step is completed, door events will start flowing into the Ambient.ai platform. As a next step, we map your existing access control readers to cameras within Ambient.ai. Our proprietary AI-powered onboarding algorithm allows for fast and reliable mapping of devices to cameras at enterprise scale, even when pre-existing lists are not available, outdated, or incomplete. Our patented AI technology will then analyze each access control event and assign a risk score, together with a contextualized evaluation whether the alarm poses a security risk or not. Here's a very common example. A DFO gets triggered, but it's just somebody exiting. Our patented technology instantly contextualizes the DFO and makes a recommendation to automatically clear it so your operator can save valuable time. This information can also be forwarded bidirectionally to your access control system, and the alarm can be acknowledged with an AI-generated comment. Another common example is a DHO that can be active because a person is holding the door for an extended period of time. It's not a real threat, but you would want to know if the door is propped open or left unsecured. Our system can contextualize the DHO alarm and save your security team valuable monitoring time. It can also inform you whenever the door is left unsecured or if any enters occur while the door is open. Now contrast this with this DFO in this scenario. The AI immediately detects this is a valid alarm as there are multiple masked figures with crowbars that pose a threat. So this DFO can be instantly prioritized and flagged for a fast response by your security team. Powerful analytics can give you deeper insights into your alarm volume, top offenders, including how many alarms are prioritized threats, and what the most common reasons for false alarms are. This provides a powerful visualization tool to see and analyze your total alarm volume. A door-centric view allows you to go deeper and analyze individual failure modes. For example, you can see a door has frequent DFOs due to people exiting. This can indicate issues with the regs. In this case, you could set the door into maintenance mode and schedule a technician to fix it.
Thanks, Ben. Our customers use Agentic access control to eliminate over 90% of their alarm noise, instantly identify real threats to their perimeter, and maintain complete situational awareness across every access point. Now let's talk about stage 4, Agentic threat analysis. Incident prevention starts with detecting threats in real time. That's why Ambient has the largest library of threat signatures in the industry. Threat signatures are suspicious events and behaviors that require real-time response, such as active shooter, assault, trespassing, and so on. Now, we saw activity notifications earlier in the keynote, which are also real-time notifications of events and behaviors. So what's the difference? Well, activity notifications are for situational awareness, whereas threat signatures are for threats that require proactive response. That's why threat signatures are built with 3 key differences. 1, threat signatures are designed for maximum performance. They have high recall, so we don't miss any threat, and they're verified, so there are near zero false positives. 2, threat signatures have built-in assessment. Ambient performs reasoning over threat signatures to assess how to respond. And 3, threat signatures have response workflows, 911 dispatch, escalations, lockdown, and more. So threat signatures, high performance, threat assessment, and response workflows. With that, I'll hand it back to Ben to show you a demo of agentic threat analysis and an early preview of a new feature called custom threat assessment. Ben.
As Vikesh mentioned, Ambient.ai has the largest library of threat signatures available. These can be monitored from our central alert management page. Here we'll see a few examples, starting with our active shooter detection. We were the first to introduce this threat signature to the market in 2018 and have been continuously improving it since. It comes with an instant threat assessment, including weapon type and active shooter description. Another threat signature includes the ability to detect people fighting or in physical altercations. After the system has detected an event like this, you can also use the built-in dispatch capability to inform a local security guard to de-escalate the situation. A dispatch request can be received via phone call, text, or the Ambient.ai app. A guard can confirm receipt, arrival, and ultimately resolve the alert directly from their mobile phone. Yet another example is our AI-based visual smoke and fire detection, which has helped our customers to detect and contain dangerous developments in many situations. A critical piece that sets us apart is the ability to clearly interpret context beyond simple object or activity detection. Pulsar elevates these new capabilities to a new level. Take this example of a person approaching a vehicle and damaging the tire. Pulsar is able to quickly identify and correlate and judge the context. Now contrast this with a similar scenario. Somebody approaches the vehicle and interacts with it. On a surface level, these two activities share a lot of similarities. However, Pulsar is able to clearly differentiate between a police officer approaching the vehicle to issue a citation, which is raised as a situational awareness notification on the right part of the screen, versus a verified threat signature of somebody damaging the vehicle. While the AI powered by Pulsar can assess many contextual factors, sometimes human operators have their own custom rules to assess threat levels. Take this tailgating alert, for example. we see 3 people entering, but the access control system only shows 1 valid card read. For some customers, this always requires a proactive response, while others may look for additional contextual cues, such as whether every person appears to be an employee and is wearing a badge. For these cases, we're excited to launch a new feature, Custom Threat Assessment. By simply telling the model which contextual factors to consider for threat assessment, Pulsar can classify alerts into the right severity level, saving valuable operator time and effort, and prioritize alerts for escalation and immediate response.
Thanks, Ben. That was Agentic Threat Analysis, real-time detection and assessment of threats, now with the ability to customize how threats are assessed. Now, let's go back to our mission. Our mission and that of our customers is to prevent every security incident possible. But as we all know, prevention doesn't stop at detection. Responding effectively is what ultimately keeps people, places, and assets safe. An effective response means responding in the right way and responding fast. Just like investigations rely on a full toolkit of search tools, effective response requires a full set of response tools. That's why the Ambient platform includes a comprehensive suite of response capabilities, from escalations and guard dispatch to 911 integration and lockdown, enabling your team to respond differently to different threats. And we're not stopping there. In the coming months, we're taking the next step towards agentic response, introducing a response agent that can automatically select and execute the right response workflow based on Pulsar's threat assessment. Because every threat requires a different response. A tailgating event might call for a guard dispatch to verify credentials, a break-in attempt may warrant an audio talkdown to deter intruders, and an active shooter scenario demands an instant 911 dispatch and lockdown. The response agent understands these differences. It will automatically select and execute the right response workflow based on the threat. And this intelligence and automation means effective response. It means responding in the right way and responding fast in situations where every second matters. Our customers are already achieving sub-1-minute response times with the capabilities we have today, and we are really excited to push the boundaries here with more automation over the coming months. Now that we've seen how Ambient brings intelligence to every stage, from detection and assessment to autonomous response, let's bring it all together. Because at its core, this isn't just about AI or automation. It's about preventing incidents. Every stage we've shown today represents one more layer of foresight, one more chance to intervene. So, to close, let's look at a real incident and see how, with agentic physical security, each of these capabilities could have changed the outcome. This incident happened at a US Border Patrol facility in McAllen, Texas. An active shooter injured 3 law enforcement personnel over the course of about 20 minutes. At 5:29 a.m., a 27-year-old male arrived in a white sedan and parked in a restricted area. With agentic monitoring, an activity notification would have immediately surfaced, vehicle parked in a restricted area, prompting an operator to review the feed. Over the next 15 minutes, the suspect sat in the car, loitering. Agentic threat analysis would have escalated that behavior into a threat alert, detecting loitering in a restricted area. Moments later, Pulsar's reasoning would identify the subject wearing a mask and body armor, followed by a person brandishing a firearm, instantly classifying the threat as high severity. At that moment, agentic response would have activated the site's standard operating procedure, which is contact 911, share the suspect's image and location, initiate lockdown, dispatch the on-site response team, all of this within seconds. As the attacker attempted to breach entry points, agentic access control would contextualize the DFO and surface it as a valid breach attempt in real time. Additionally, we could scan all access points to pinpoint vulnerabilities and proactively address them or dispatch personnel to those locations. And finally, once the threat was contained, agentic investigations would assemble the complete incident timeline, running license plate search on the vehicle, similarity search to trace movement across cameras, and semantic search to help authorities understand exactly how the event unfolded. This single incident illustrates the power of agentic physical security. not just detecting a threat, but giving teams multiple opportunities to prevent it before it happens. From the first parked car to the first weapon drawn, every second offers a chance to act sooner, respond faster, and ultimately save lives. And with that, we complete the path to agentic physical security. Together, these innovations mark a new era for Ambient AI, a platform that sees, understands, and acts across every stage of protection. To share how our customers are already bringing this vision to life, please join me in welcoming our Chief Marketing Officer, Alberto, on stage. Alberto.
Thank you, Vikesh. What an incredible showcase of our technology that was. That's really just one part of the story. Ambient isn't just a breakthrough platform, it's also an extraordinary community of security leaders who are redefining what's possible in physical security to build safer organizations. Part of this community came together just a few weeks ago at our Ambient Connect user group chapter in San Jose, where we spent the full day digging into real-world strategies, challenges, and best practices in physical security. And that's how we build our products. Everything you've seen today, from the latest Pulsar model to our access intelligence and threat detection capabilities, has been shaped hand in hand with our end users. We work closely with them because they are physical security experts who can make sure that our roadmap reflects what actually matters in the field, so that we're not just building the smartest platform, but we're also building the one that is most effective at getting the job done. One interesting point that was raised during the user group was this one. We asked the users, when conducting video investigations, what are the most common incidents and threats that you are looking for? And clearly, the top issue that emerged were unauthorized entry and tailgating. As you saw in the demo from Vikesh, access intelligence is a cornerstone of Ambient's vision and a critical step in the journey towards agentic physical security. It's the way we're transforming it is making a difference in how organizations tackle the challenges of securing physical access. So let's hear from one of these innovators and physical security experts on how that happens in practice. Please join me in welcoming Carrie Monverin, Senior Director of Corporate Security at SentinelOne. Carrie, great to have you.
Great to be here.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Fantastic. First thing I want to ask you is, what's your hot take on what you just heard today here at the keynote?
I'm honestly blown away. I think you've taken a great product and made it better. We can't wait to roll it out and start implementing.
What do you think about a reasoning VLM in your systems? How helpful can that be?
I know my team's going to be super excited to start using it, but when I think about the reduction in investigation time and the increase in overall safety, it's going to be a remarkable product.
Fantastic. Now let's switch gear a little bit and talk about the amazing things you've been accomplishing at SentinelOne. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, well, originally was in the service for 20 years in the military, in the Marines. And then when I retired, I went right into the corporate environment, first in nuclear and then moved over to technology companies.
Amazing, 20 years in the Marine Corps. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. I gotta ask, how did you celebrate the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps?
You know, I did have my celebratory piece of Marine Corps birthday cake. I used to be the youngest Marine there. Now it seems like I'm the oldest one at the party. So I get the first piece of cake. That's always nice.
Fantastic. I hope it was a good cake and you guys had a great party. Let's talk a little bit about SentinelOne. What can you tell us about the environment there as you joined to run corporate security?
Yeah, so I run everything at corporate security, from the access control to the executive protection, anything that's under that corporate security environment. I was the first security hire there. So there from the very beginning, and cybersecurity company, I came in and really had to build everything from scratch.
Wow, so you were the first one. You must have seen a lot of stuff going on.
We did, yeah. You know, it's you come into these hyper growth companies, really great product. We were growing fast, multiple offices globally, really nothing that was integrated or tied in, different systems and technologies everywhere. I brought in a great team, some great engineering support, and we were able to bring in Ambient and really put it all together.
Fantastic. And I take it that for a cybersecurity company, controlling access is a critical aspect of how you enforce security. Tell us a little bit about how you've been using Ambient to address this use case. And you brought us some amazing video to look at as well.
Yeah. We've got, really we decided we wanted to use technology, right? We're a technology company. We thought about all the really neat ways that cyber was responding to security incidents. We thought we could move that over to the physical space. And what we were missing was the analytics platforms. So partnered up with Ambient, really brought it in and did a hyper automation with all of our other products. So our access control, our video, our visitor management, and really built it all in where we could start from scratch using technology instead of headcount and really provide a safer environment.
Awesome. So where does the access control verification start from? The Ambient platform sends you an alert, and how does that work?
Yeah, no, there's several pieces. We've got integrations between the Ambient product and our access control system, our visitor management system, and it's also integrated into Slack, which is what we use for company-wide messaging. So when an employee comes in and badges and someone tailgates behind them, AI is automatically identifying that tailgating incident with using Ambient in our cameras. We'll send them a DM, a direct message in Slack, and we'll say, hey, you were just tailgated, were you aware? And then really just based on their response to that is whether it escalates up and actually creates an incident that we need to respond to.
Wow, amazing. So you've built a custom integration between Ambient and Slack to have automated messaging directly to the suspect of the tailgating to verify whether that was an actual tailgate event or not. And that's part of your strategy to change behavior, I think.
Right. I think with that, first off, we're using the analytic tools. We're using technology instead of having someone just stare at, cameras and try to figure these things out. We know who did the badging in, who was granted access. We know that they were followed. We reach out to them originally to find out, were they aware? Because it could be an employee that forgot their badge. It could be a visitor that they're loading into the visitor management system. And then if not, depending on how they respond, they hit a button in Slack, it escalates, wakes us up, gets the team involved, and we start our investigation process.
Amazing. Sounds like you're already well down the path towards an agentic physical security model. What were some of the outcomes that you were able to achieve in terms of alert reduction?
Yeah, it was amazing. In the first 12 months, as we rolled it out to the different offices, we had about a 90% reduction in the total tailgating and access control violations, globally. So
amazing.
Really amazing. And then also when you think about the time that we were spending before that, going in and manually trying to look at these systems and identify issues, when you think about the time that we save there, and that's priceless as well.
Got it. And I love to see these metrics here that you're showing in this diagram with constant, continuous improvement over time and significant improvement on your access control strategy. Can you tell us a little bit, like how does it feel in practice from an employee point of view with how people are changing their behavior? Maybe you can comment on some of the things that you've shown us.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty amazing. I think what it does is it empowers the employee, right? Number one, I think it lets them know that the company cares about them. We've got a duty of care obligation to the employee. We want them to know that we are watching, the system's looking. We're going to identify breaches. The second piece is it empowers them because it makes them part of the security team. So, what I love to see is when we have employees that are actually correcting other folks and they're actually aware of their environment, right? They've identified people that maybe didn't badge in and force them to go badge, or if it's someone that forgot their badge, they know that we're going to get a notification and they run and get it, as you saw in the video,
it's really
and then
fun
come
to
in
see.
and badge. Yeah,
so it's amazing
great.
How you're really changing the culture and behavior, and I think that's a key ingredient to get to that shift from reactive to proactive security.
Yeah, I think that's it. You make everyone part of your security team, right?
Yeah.
And it all begins with the Ambient product and the way we're able to identify those incidents.
Awesome. It was great to hear this, Kerry. Thanks so much for being part of this event and this journey with us towards agentic physical security. I can't wait to hear what you're going to be doing next using Ambient Pulsar.
I appreciate it. I'm excited for the next products. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon. As we wrap up here this amazing event, a few final remarks. If you want to experience Pulsar in real time, we're making our interactive playground available to everyone online. This is the very same environment that you saw Vikesh using earlier. There you can see for yourself how Pulsar performs in a variety of scenarios and how it compares against other models in understanding real-world physical scenarios. And if you're ready to embark in the agentic physical security for your enterprise, we'd love to connect and start the conversations with our team. I want to thank everyone here and everyone online for being with us today. Thank you for being part of this moment and for joining us in this amazing journey towards agentic physical security. We can't wait to show you what comes next.